Hey everybody, we are in Chicago, Illinois, here at Vivid Seats. We're going to be talking to the CEO, Stan Chia. Vivid Seats is an online ticket marketplace that did over $500 million in 2022. 500 employees. Let's go check them out. CEOs carry a lot of weight. They manage businesses, people, expectations of stakeholders, and so much more. I want to hear their story. How was it testifying in front of Congress?
What are some things that you look out for when evaluating a company?
Rock and roll, yeah, I want to see.
I'm on a journey to learn and get to know top business leaders.
I think everybody thinks that they want to be a CEO.
I didn't get into this to be a CEO.
What are the risks,
Oh!
I want you to hold this under your tongue.
and how do we de-risk that?
I'm Will Salvi,
Thank you for your business.
and this is the CEO series. Stan, thanks for being with us for the CEO series. Really appreciate your time. Let's just start it off with one of my favorite questions is, what's the best aspect of being the CEO?
Well, thanks for having me. And I think it's getting to work in an industry that you love with people that you love every day, and the privilege of setting the direction and vision of the company. Love it.
Give us a challenging aspect.
I can't think of a time in history where more consumers want to go to live events, and at the same time, artists and teams, like, they want fans in the stands. So I think we have this opportunity and also the challenge of how do we continue to drive a lot of growth for the company, shareholders, profitability, executional, and experiential excellence. And I think blending that all together in a balanced manner is probably the biggest challenge that we face on a day-to-day basis.
You play guitar, right?
I attempt to play guitar.
Okay, so you play guitar, and what'd you want to be when you were growing up? Because I'm seeing like a common thread here. I've heard that you were in a hair band, or you played in a band, and so did you always want to lead a company? Did you have other aspirations when you were growing up?
Yeah, I think, look, I grew up probably wanting to be an aerospace engineer, right? I love space shuttles and the concept of going to space, and then I served in the military for 2.5, 3 years. You kind of sit down, you figure out a lot, you mature, you grow, and part of that journey was, I don't think a specialized field was something that I wanted to do, and while I do love playing guitar, I probably thought to myself, not going to make it exactly as a rock star, and so, pivoted into just a more general space of how do I get to see more of the world, see more businesses and industries. I had the opportunity to do industrial engineering at Georgia Tech, which has been #1 in industrial engineering for over 30 years, and I think that kickstarted my career into various industries and sort of where I landed here, eventually.
Why'd you hit that one?
I mean, it just looked like it was going to go in.
Could you talk about this wall real quick? I mean, we have all the foam fingers. I'd love to. There's a bunch of event stuff here, which makes sense, but.
Yeah, I think what you'll see as you walk around, I think we got the opportunity when we moved into this, by the way, which is a historic building, right? It's the Marshall Field building, and I think some of our employees have said to me, wow, where my office is, this is where I bought my bedroom furniture. And so we are in a landmark and hopefully become, what will become also a defining, I think, piece as Vivid Seats' headquarters. And as we designed it from the ground up, we got to infuse elements of our personality and our character into the office. What you see here is a wall. We are the #1 fan everywhere we go, right? This is it. This is the #1 fan. You see the hands. We are #1. We love it.
You are from Singapore. You lived about your first year of life there, and then Singapore requires all men to come back and be in the military. Can you elaborate on your experience there and what you learned from it?
Having grown up in New York City and generally outside of Singapore until I was a late teenager and went back for high school and served in the military, fearful, nervous about the experience, and looking back, that was one of, if not the most defining parts of my life. I think it's one of the best experiences I've had. It's very formative in terms of who I've become and how I lead. And like I said, I think that ability to learn, listen, understand, and appreciate the diversity of culture, right? Singapore is, again, a wonderful multicultural society with lots of different folks that have called that a home. And so just a great melding of cultures, and the ability to lead them in a conscript form, I think, helped define a lot of who I am today. So just a wonderful experience for me. You talk about the upbringing and the experiences I've had. One of the shining things that's come through for me is that there is a lot of strength in diversity, and I've taken that to heart everywhere I think I've had the opportunity to go and try to build really diverse teams. And I'm super proud of the fact that when you look at our leadership team at the C-suite level, we've got more than 50% female leaders. When you look at the board that we've put together at Vivid Seats, and again, I'm so privileged to have such an amazing board. We came out of the gate with a majority diverse board.
What motivates you to be yourself, bring the company to where you want to bring it? What motivates you in the morning?
I want to be able to lead in an industry that I love, and I've got the good fortune of being in the live events industry. I love it. I've got the great opportunity to lead, I think, people that I enjoy, you know, old military phrase, but also you go to battle with them every day. You got to love the troops you're with. I love the team that we've got here, and of course the family that supports me in the background. I think all of those things, right? Wanting to do a good job for all of them, continue to lead that, and then ultimately really believing in the mission of what Vivid Seats is here, and that's to make sure that everybody gets to experience it live.
You navigated a couple of big milestones as the CEO. First COVID, and then going public with the SPAC deal. Can you talk about navigating through COVID?
No other way to describe it. It's just life-changing on so many levels in unimaginable ways. I still remember when NCAA tournament was canceled, basketball players walking off of an NBA game, and
Wild.
And then on the business side for us, you know, compounded with a business, look, we're a live events business that depends on that, and suddenly there were no live events, right? So we had no revenue coming in, and we had also the combination of events that were getting canceled, and you know, consumers wanted their money back for those events. Fortunately, as I've said before, you know, I sit in a spot where I'm very privileged. I've got a great team, a great leadership team that's been with me since before COVID, that's still with me today, that helped to navigate through that challenge. I've got great investors that were with me prior to COVID that are still with me today, I think, and we made those decisions, you know, tough decisions. We saw a significant trajectory change in our business as we started to emerge from COVID. We had the good fortune of running into Todd Boehly, who is the CEO of Eldridge Industries, who is also an owner of the Dodgers, the Lakers, recently acquired Chelsea. And that portfolio, right, his relationships and his assets, or which are sports, entertainment, and fintech, just so beneficial and synergistic to the business. So bringing him on board as we went public and using the proceeds from that to delever the business, I think have allowed us to emerge really in a really strong position coming out of COVID, right? We've got a fantastic balance sheet, we've got a public currency, we're sitting in a net cash position, and continue to be aggressive on our ability to execute on the strategy.
Why do you love live events?
Let's go the other way. What's there not to love about live events, right?
I agree.
mean, the thrill of the crowd, look, I think I love being around people, like that's just who I am, and I think there's no better experience than cheering together either for or against something. You know, I think the roar of the performers when you go to concerts, you know, I used to play in a band and I still love that, and you know, being able to not only partake as a fan, but be a part of other people's journey and allowing people to get access, I love that.
Yeah. And what opportunities do you see in the space in, say, the next 5 years? What are you noticing trends-wise that you think could accelerate the business?
You know, if you look at the demand kind of demographics, you've got the Gen Zs who are up and coming, starting to move into purchasing power. They are prioritizing their spend on experiences over goods and services. You've got me, you know, and this generation, which I've started to affectionately call myself like a geriatric millennial, you know, where I've got a little bit more money than I used to have 20 years ago. The bands I love, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, they're touring, right? And so I'm dying to go see them. My knees hurt a little bit more the next day, but love it. So you've got the buy side moving, you know, to really prioritize their spend on that. At the same time, when you think about the sell side and sort of how touring has become a really big part of an artist's income. So you look at that trend and you say, wow, you've got consumers across the spectrum really looking to prioritize their spend in this category. And at the same time, you've got artists, you've got teams who want fans in the stands in a way and putting their own marketing muscle almost to get people there and putting on great shows. And you know, I think what a great time to be in the industry.
Thank God I got that on camera. We're just going for it. Oh, man, that's a scratch. Does the stock market ever get to you, or are you just focused on running the company? Because I mean, you know, stock market has a lot of volatility to it. So do you ever pay attention to it too much, or are you just kind of focused on the main goal?
Yeah, I think you've always got to be focused on the fundamental performance of the business and kind of what we're here to do, right? And what we're here to do, I think, is continue to enable people to experience it live and build a great platform that drives both growth and profitability. I'd be lying if I told you, you know, I don't look at what happens in the market, so I certainly look at that, but I think that's not what drives us, right? I think what drives us is to continue to deliver good results, and I think when you deliver good results, I think naturally the stock performance should follow.
CEO that you do not know, that you admire, that you would like to meet?
I'm not sure that I look externally for a lot of motivation, right? I think I'm I'm very much, almost like you said, I think the journey that I've been on is important to me, and I'd almost tell you, I think the person I look up to most who's continued to inspire me is, I think I grew up with a father who I think amazingly balanced, living in a new country, working hard, and providing for the family, and still spending enough time, helping, his kids along the way. And I've always looked that that's the model for me, right? I don't need to look externally for somebody else. The other thing we like to say is we are by fans, for fans, when you look at this. So this is a lot of our team members who've been at different events across. You'll see concerts. I think you'll see, I saw Elton John up there. I see Harry Styles down there. I look at, there's Reva Bacall, our Chief Product Officer.
I assume employees are not allowed to use Ticketmaster or StubHub for anything. They got to go through Vivid Seats.
Well, I think they're allowed to use whatever they want. The question is, why would you use anything
Yeah.
else when you can earn rewards here? And we provide our employees, a great benefit too,
Okay.
right? Everybody gets $100 to use on live events, and part of it is, again, we want our employees to love the category, which I think they do. We want them to be able to experience it, and we also want them to use our product and give feedback. What better way to understand what fans are going to want and need out of the product than making sure that all of the fans who are here at Vivid Seats are using our product, learning, and contributing to the evolution of what we build here.
Does this fly not know we're filming? Online marketplace for tickets for live events, and I don't know what I'm saying. Marketplace company. Come to our YouTube channel and you'll see more videos. God, Krish. My brother always messing up my flow. I'm just joking.